What is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast, episode 184. We've been banging out episodes for the last several years now. Thank you to everyone who has watched along the way and subscribed and shared our videos and communicated with us. We appreciate you for being here. It's a wonderful Thursday night. With me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Cody Marinera, my friend. How are you doing this wonderful Thursday? Uh-oh. It looks like, as I said that, he is maybe having problems connecting. Let's see if he falls off, or we'll move him from the screen here just for now. We'll see if he pops back on here in just a moment. There we go. Oh, oh, there he is. Can you hear me? Oh, uh, the fun of the show. How can you hear me now, my friend?
I think so. Repeat what you said.
I was just asking how you were
I think
doing
we're
on this
good.
wonderful Thursday.
Uh, we're here. We're here. That's all. That's all we can do, right? Um, we're doing all right. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. I think last week I said we were in the red zone, but not yet quite the 2 minute warning. I think we are. I mean, I think we're at the 2 minute warning. Um, Last possession, game on the line. We're entering the last moments of the game, if you want to call it that. If you want to put a sports analogy onto it, we are nearing the big day, and the tensions are rising a little bit as far as making sure everything's ready to go. And I guess we'll be ready or not here. Here he comes soon, but we're excited. It's going to be a big change, big adjustment. But baby watch is officially underway, I believe, and we'll see what happens here over the next week or so. This could be the last podcast before I become a father of two. We shall see. If not, definitely next Thursday will be the last one. But we'll see, man. We'll see. How are things going on your end?
Things are going pretty good. Over here in the land of Salisbury Steaks. I don't know. That's Maryland, I think. That's not even North Carolina, but I don't know. It's good in Shotsbury tonight. At least on my part of town. Um, and it's a good night because we get to talk about pro wrestling tonight. And but first we got to talk about our sponsor, and that is Dubby Energy, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. Dubby is a powdered energy drink that replaces the other inferior caffeine beverages you may drink. Contains zero maltodextrin, zero fillers, zero artificial colors or dyes, and none of those so called proprietary blends that all the other drinks claim to have. The star of the show is the coffee fruit extract, which helps give you that focus you want in an energy drink without the jitters and the crash. And it's quite easy. All you do is you take the powder, you take a scoop, dump it in some water, stir it in, and you got yourself a good tasting energy drink. Um, Multiple flavors. I have two currently. I have Tiger's Blood, which is a mixture of strawberry, watermelon, and coconut. And then I also have uh, the Japanese soda, which is pretty good as well. And our friends at Dubby have given us a discount code. If you use Beyond the Yard at checkout, you can save 10% off your order. And we've made it very easy for you. That QR code at the top of your screen is where you go. Scan that QR code. It takes you right to their website. Pick what you want at checkout. Use code Beyond the Yard. Save 10% off your order. Thank you to our friends over at Dubby Energy. Now let's get into today's show. All right. I thought it would be fun to start the show by doing something I think we all do as wrestling fans, and that is let's do some fantasy booking. Let's book ourselves a part of the show. Let's pretend we're the booker for a moment. And I'll let you go first. The task I gave you probably a couple hours ago. I didn't give you a whole lot of time to think about this, but that's the fun of the game, is it not? If you were the booker of AEW's women's tag team division, I want you to book me the tag team division leading to All In. Who has the titles? What's the match at All In? And what does the AEW women's tag team scene look like from now until the end of August?
Well, my pick for the Owen women's tournament is already out. So there goes that one. Obviously, with Mercedes coming back last night, that makes sense. If I'm booking the women's tag team division, I mean, you have to continue to make Megan Bain, Ty Jenkins, shot the world women's tag belts this Saturday on Collision. I guess they survived the 5-minute challenge from last week, which is great, and that's fine. But being that it's in England, I know it's a cheap pop, but they're over in the States as well. I think you got to give the Brawling Birds a shot at the tag team belts, possibly win it in their home countries. I don't know if you do a little bit of not so much a mini tournament, but now that Windsor's out of the Owen, maybe they can focus again back on them being a tag team between Hayter and Windsor. They could take down Sky Blue and it's really hard if Sky doesn't get out of the first round. You can go after TJ. Anybody else that could be a tag team of women's division, let them go after them, and then just kind of work their way up to winning matches, and then call their shot right after Forbidden Door. Set up a good 1 month, program, but let it be consistent television time for both teams, whether it's Cross and Bane dominating teams on Dynamite or Collision. The Brawling Birds doing some vignettes and promo work, also some matches, or have Cross and Bane say, hey, we still don't think you're that worthy of fighting us at All In. Continue to show us, continue to prove us wrong. Maybe they both each face off against Cross and Bane in one-on-one matches. Maybe 6 women tag team matches, 8 women tag team matches. Just kind of build up a feud there that tag belts would become. That might be the only thing I really could think of that would really make a whole lot of sense at this point in time.
Yeah, this division is tough. It had a big buzz around the titles being created 8 or so months ago. and it's just kind of fallen off a cliff, to be completely honest. So to me, if I'm the booker of the women's AEW women's tag team division, I'm going to have to establish who the different tag teams are, because honestly at this point we only know really of 2 or 3 women's tag teams. That being Divine Dominion, which are your current champions. Tajay's finally back. And then Brawling Birds are there. Willow's hurt, so her and Harley are kind of gone. They were the first ever tag team champions. I think that's where they went wrong from the beginning, was putting the tag team champions on a not established tag team. And so I think we have to, one, establish who the tag teams are, and then make the tag team scene matter in the eyes of the viewer. And so I'm adding a couple tag teams. I'm bringing up to the main roster per se, Maya World and the Heian. And he dropped off again. We'll see if we get him back up. But I'll continue saying what I was going to say here just for a moment. So I'm bringing up them. I'm having them be a top baby face. And my idea of this division leading into All In would have to be, there's no number one contender right now. We're going to find who the number one contender is for these belts, and that's going to be done through a miniature tournament that we can do, again, to build the prestige and get the title seen on TV. I think so much we see with the AEW women's tag team division, you don't see it a whole lot. That's the issue. Is like, we know it's Divine Dominion as the women's tag team champions, but there are times when like they're on the pre-show. We have to get them on the main card of pay-per-views, and to do that, you gotta put some stakes behind some of these matches. You gotta get people to care about what you're doing. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing up some of the ROH tag teams that are in the women's division, and I'm bringing in and creating some of these, using some of these women that don't get used a whole lot, and making them tag teams, so that we have an actual division, and not just make random tag team matches and where it's obvious who's going to win and who's going to lose. As we get to All In, like, I really think Tajay may win the belts this week on Collision, I believe, is when they're fighting. And so we're going to look for maybe the Sisters of Sin. I think that should be the next feud. Regardless, you have the Sisters of Sin and whoever the world the tag team champions are. And yeah, that's where it is. And you have it, match 1 maybe be at Forbidden Door, and then the big main event, maybe you have a match 2 sometime leading up to All In, and then the big match is at All In between the Sisters of Sin, and I assume it would be Tajay as the champion at that point. All right. Hey, we brought him back. Everything good on your end?
Probably not, but we'll see.
All right. By the way, hey, if you're in the chat, leave us a message, comment along like our boy Wavy D. He got a bone to pick with Mick Foley tonight, and I'm sure we all do. That's going to be fun. That's later on in the show tonight. Thank you, Wavy D, for being in the chat. I don't know how much of my fantasy booking you heard. I rambled on long enough, but anyways, let's get to our mid-card meltdown, and I have a feeling you might rant over your Wi-Fi connection. I'm just kidding. Anything this week that you just gotta get off your chest, my friend?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi. Yeah, that might be on the top of the list. No, I honestly don't have a whole lot that really got me fired up sports wise over the past week or not. I think that it's crazy how these big blockbuster trades happen in the NFL, and we still need another wide receiver. And I think I'm out on Brandon Ayuk. I don't know if I want him anymore. I don't think I want him. At this point, resign Debo, go get Stephon Diggs. Just be done with it. Just sign one and let's move on. I don't want Brandon Ayuk anymore. We're going down a slippery slope with that, and I don't want to be a part of it. Just move on, guys, please.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk might be playing for Alcatraz at this point.
The California penal system is I'll be calling his name.
Speaking of those blockbuster trades, that's my bone to pick. Listen, 2 trades went down this week. Myles Garrett to the Rams and A.J. Brown to the Patriots. And you know what they both have in common? The Buffalo Bills have to play both of these teams. And so you know what this says to me? Look, I'm going to take the glass half full approach right here and say the Rams and the Patriots were so worried that Josh Allen was going to beat the ever-living piss out of them. They had to make big moves and give up big first-round picks just to have an opportunity to compete with the Buffalo Bills, because otherwise the Bills would have stomped both teams. That's how I'm going to look at it. But look, and is it going to work? Because the Buffalo Bills are going 15-2 this year, my friend. 15-2.
Sure, whatever you say.
All right, let's jump into our AEW talking points of the night. We mentioned her earlier in the show, but we're going to mention her again because the boss, the blueprint, the CEO, Mercedes Moné, is back, and she is going to reclaim her prize at the top of the AEW women's division. I'm so excited that she is back, and I'm sure there's some people that don't really care that she's back, but I'm going to tell you something. Ever since Toni Storm has been missing, and look, all credit to Tekla. She's doing a damn good job carrying this division, but it's like she's the only one trying to carry this division. It feels like Mercedes Moné is back, and she's looking to defend the one title she has not lost, which is the Owen Hart Tournament Championship. Your thoughts on Mercedes Moné as the wild card, as the the one to beat Alex Windsor, and how far does she go in this tournament?
I think it's setting up to be kind of weird because Declan's a heel, and Mercedes right now is a heel. Doesn't appear to look like a face at all, and it'd be kind of weird to have both of them wrestle at All In London for the women's belt. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then if you get Athena in the mix, she's a heel as well. So starting to look like a really awkward setting bracket at the moment. Unless somehow Mercedes turns face, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why you would put heel versus heel in that. You try to put babyface and the heel for those bigger titles. And but I mean, we saw this past week on Dynamite. I wouldn't classify Rush as being the baby face. He's more so a tweener. Crowd likes him, but doesn't necessarily mean your face. And he fought him. Seeing how this bracket is looking as where I really don't know. I'm just kind of conflicted at the moment as to where this whole thing may go.
Mm-hmm.
Not real sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least, because, and I guess we'll see. Is it next week, or maybe it's Saturday? I can't remember. Persephone fights Hazuki for their first round match. I think that's Saturday, and then next week we have Sari fighting Sky Blue. And I love how they kind of glossed over the fact that next Wednesday's Dynamite is summer breakup or breakout or whatever, I don't know, Great American Summer Bash, whatever it's called. And they just kind of threw that graphic up on the screen without really announcing it to the world. We got a special promotion gimmicked Dynamite next week in John Moxley's hometown of in Ohio. And so yeah, this tournament's a little weird. To me, it's weird to throw Mercedes back at this point. I feel like this return was not meant for Mercedes to show up here, obviously, with Willow being injured. I think her return was meant to be probably I would assume it would have been after All In is when they really wanted her to show up, and she would have been like interfering the end of the women's match in some way, shape, or form. But maybe they had to speed up her return because of Willow's injury. I'm really not sure. But now that she's in it, I mean, if you look at the bracket, so Mercedes, she beat Alex Windsor, who took her Rev Pro title from her. She's probably going to face Persephone. I'm assuming Persephone would beat Hazuki on Saturday. If she fights Persephone, that's the lady who took the CMLL women's title from her. And I think, would it be Mercedes versus Athena? Like, that's a match we've been wanting. And at Forbidden Door, I guess technically AEW versus ROH would make sense as a Forbidden Door match. And then on the other end, Sari versus Mercedes. Have they met in Stardom before? I'm not 100% sure if they have or not. And so it seems like Mercedes will be in the finals. I almost assume that she will be. But yeah, they're setting it up kind of weird. For All In, obviously that's the big picture. I mean, the other bracket's pretty easy to see. It's Will Ospreay going all the way. I think we've seen that by now. But this women's bracket's kind of weird. Yeah. I'm just happy Mercedes is back. She's my favorite in the women's division, and it's been a long time since we've seen her on TV, so it's great to have her back. Next, we need to bring Max Caster back, and AEW would be complete, at least in my eyes. Come back, Max. Actually, Max Caster. If you want to watch Max Caster wrestle, this is a fun fact that you probably don't care about. If you want to watch Max Caster wrestle, you can watch him wrestle every Monday on YouTube, I think. He's at some promotion in Rhode Island that does live shows every Monday. And maybe if enough people care about it, I can share the link to where you can watch him. But Max Caster's on TV every Monday now instead of Wednesdays. And no, he's not on Monday Night Raw. Sorry. Let's talk about Lio Rush. As freaky as he may be. What do you think of his new gimmick? Because I'm going to be honest. At first, I wasn't sold. But I kind of like it now. I kind of dig it. What do you think about Lio Rush?
It's different. I guess that's what we're going for. It's different. So check mark on that. I'm not sold on the gimmick because the guy's lost every match just about he's had. It's hard for me to take it a little more seriously. If it's supposed to be more of a comedy thing, then yeah, check mark or box check mark. But yeah, it is different. And given how short he is, it just makes it weirder / funnier. This whole thing that's going on with him. But yeah, I don't really have any other words besides just different, weird, quirky. Maybe not even quirky. That might not be the right word. Weird, different, and not sure what if the act is supposed to be more of a funny thing or serious. Because, like I said, if it's a serious one, he not doing a good job at the seriousness part of it, simply for the fact that he keeps losing.
Yeah.
But slowly starting to get over with the crowd. They're starting to notice a little more, and which is good. But again, I want to see what happens more with this gimmick before I really write it off or say it's stupid, dead, doesn't make any sense. At the moment, I'm just not 100% sold on it. But I do give Lio kudos for it to being different. Can't beat that.
Yeah. I do think it's more of a comedy, like a dark comedy gimmick. I think people have kind of noticed he's almost spoofing the Gollum from Lord of the Rings. It's kind of what people compare him to. I think it's just funny how he interacts with the conglomeration. The whole thing that Orange Cassidy does, where he's like, if you don't move, he won't see you. I like that. I think it's funny. And overall, where Lio Rush was with Crew was behind a paywall in ROH. And now, where Lio Rush is with this Blackheart gimmick, I think is what he's calling it, Blackheart Lio Rush, is he has a segment on Wednesday Night Dynamite every week just about. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a positive for Lio Rush because he now can be seen to the world. This isn't a Tony Khan created gimmick. This is something that I think he created on the indie scene. And so, like, I don't know. It is something different. I don't think he's meant to win a whole lot of matches. I would compare it to like maybe a kind of darker version of what like Danhausen's meant to be in WWE. Just the comedy gimmick that kind of just does weird things and comes in at the wrong time. Some of that stuff, and maybe gets a match here or there, and ultimately can put somebody over. I don't think it's meant to be anything super serious, but I don't know. I think it's a plus for Lio Rush, and the fans seem to like it overall. So, or are starting to like it a little bit more. When he gallops like a horse around the ring, I think that's the funniest thing I ever will see around in a wrestling match. So keep doing it, Lio Rush, because I need my weekly source of laughter, and you certainly provide that. All right, more serious. What's going on with AEW's world title and the fact that we get matches on free TV at an astounding rate? Somebody tweeted this earlier today. I saw this and I sent it to you earlier this morning. In 2020, AEW had 7 world title matches on free TV. 2021, they had 4. 2022, they had 9. 2023, they had 4. 2024, they had 5. Last year, they had 6 total matches on free TV for the world title. And we're only in the first week of June of 2026. And partially you can thank Darby Allin for this number, but they've already had 12 world title matches on free television in AEW in not even 6 months. This is a dangerous precedent that I was concerned about when Darby Allin was champion, and I'll be concerned and frank about it. I don't want MJF to, or any world champion, to fight on free television for the title this often. What you like in 2023, 4 times on both, and actually on that time, Rampage was still around, so I think they had 5 hours of television, and within those 5 hours of television every week for 52 weeks, you only had 4 world title matches. It was special. Oh shit, they're having a world title match on Dynamite. It was special in 2023. Nowadays, you almost expect a world title on Dynamite. It's lost its lure. And with the rumors that MJF's title run may be a short one, it doesn't make it any special, any more special. In fact, I think it loses significance once he loses the belt because he defends it so much. This is your top title. And I took a lot of heat on this on TikTok when I posted this about Darby Allin and saying that your world title shouldn't be defended weekly. You don't see the UFC heavyweight champion of the world just fighting some Joe Schmo like MJF, maybe with Mark Briscoe, who hasn't fought a match of any significance in almost a year, probably. Like, that wouldn't happen in any other wrestling competition or mixed martial arts competition, or even amateur wrestling. Like, if you're not the top of the top, you don't get a title opportunity. And yet it seems like weekly nowadays, it's just like whoever wants to call their shot gets an opportunity. I wasn't a fan of it when it was Darby Allin. I won't be a fan of it now, even though I like MJF as champion. I don't know. What's your take on just the overabundance of these type of matches happening for free?
Well, you go back to January, you can you heard my thoughts on it whenever there was a couple of different world championship matches happening on SmackDown between Cody and Drew. I hated it then, and I hate it more so now. And just because I'm an AEW fan, they don't get a free pass on it. It's frustrating. It's really, really nonsensical booking, in my opinion. I just don't understand why we have to feel the need. We have to give away world title matches on free television so often, especially now. I really don't understand. Is it to get attendance up? I don't know. Is it to? I really don't know. I don't know what the whole point is of it, I don't love it. I really don't love it. Why am I going to buy the pay-per-view if I can just watch this world title change happen for free, like they did with Darby against MJF? Like WWE, yeah, you're not luring me into wanting to watch the pay-per-view if you have these world title matches happen on these, on free television, or world title changes happening on national television. Yeah, I just don't understand what the whole sense of it is, what the whole sentimental value is of it. I'd like to understand from a booking perspective as to why Tony Khan thinks that that's a recipe for success. I mean, it's shown that the ratings haven't exactly been through the roof with Darby being the world champion and his world championship defenses. I guess we will find out Dynamite's rating probably tomorrow, if not Monday. So we really don't know. But it's just I just don't really understand it from a booking perspective as to why Tony Khan feels the need that he has to give away those world title match almost weekly. Right. I mean, it's just, it doesn't incentivize me more so to watch the show if they've had 11 other world championship matches happen on Dynamite or Collision. It's not propelling me to watch it anymore.
Right.
And clearly the ratings have reflected that as well. As just because you put a world title match on Dynamite or Collision or whatever doesn't always equal ratings either. So
right,
let's pump the brakes, man. Let's stop that. There's supposed to be world championship matches for pay-per-views for the most part, and just give it to a rare, give it to a minimum. We don't need it every week. We don't need it every month. We don't need it every quarter. We don't need it every 6 months. Just stop.
Right. Yeah, and even it isn't even just the world title that I think it happens. Like, for instance, Anna Jay and Ty Mello win the 5-minute contest. They win a title opportunity. And what a great opportunity it could be to finally get your women's tag team championships on the main event of a pay-per-view and just build up that feud for the next couple of weeks. But no, we get it Saturday. We get their title opportunity Saturday, and it's like you're giving away a perfectly good opportunity for a pay-per-view match in with the women. It's like in a division that I don't think the women's tag team title has been on a main card pay-per-view ever. Maybe once or twice, but if it's not on the pre-show, it's not on the card for the most part of your pay-per-views. And now you have a perfectly good opportunity with this title match where you could build a better feud, and they refuse to do it that way. If I was Tony Khan, I'm really considering, like, let's push Andrade versus MJF for Forbidden Door, and let's push that story. Let's give it a couple weeks. Don't give us Andrade versus MJF on a Dynamite. Like, that's a pay-per-view quality match, and it deserves to be on the pay-per-view. I mean, how do we fix it? I guess that's the other question. It's like, yeah, it's a problem, but what does Tony Khan do to fix it? Because it feels like he's almost like he sees the stories of, like, once the Paramount deal goes through, that he might have to go find another TV deal, and it's like he's trying to put these big matches on TV to try and pop bigger ratings, so he can either and we'll talk about, I guess we could transition into this, to position Paramount to keep AEW on with the new TV deal, or maybe convince another television company to to put AEW on TV, and it's like, one, it's not working, I don't think, but two, it's like, it's not good booking. I don't know, but yeah. With that being said, I believe it was said by someone within Paramount that they're very interested in keeping AEW, and not only keeping AEW, but placing it on CBS, which is interesting to me for a multitude of reasons. One, Paramount would have UFC and AEW in their grasp at that point. But also, two, CBS is free cable. You don't have to have a premium subscription to get it like you do with Turner. Because even I have Fubo, and I don't have any of the Turner broadcasting stuff on my stuff with the plan that I have. They don't have a deal worked out with them. So I don't get TNT or TBS. I have to watch my stuff on Max. But I have CBS. Everybody gets CBS. It's free local television. So that could be big numbers for AEW if that was the case. And that might be the best case scenario for AEW. Could you see it happening, or is it just rumors that it'll happen, or you'll believe it once it happens?
I mean, if you listen to Tony Khan's media scrum from after Double or Nothing a couple of weeks ago, he says that the deal's already been made, and that they're keeping TBS, TNT, and Max for what it seems like, and he expects that to kind of continue. I don't know much more than that. I've seen a couple reports saying that Paramount executives, they're two different entities, they're two different companies, but they have no problem with exclusivity. As far as hey, UFC doesn't have and TKO and Endeavor doesn't have an exclusivity on the Paramount side of things, that no other wrestling company, no other whatever can appear on their networks, on their streaming platforms, whatever the case may be. And it'd be kind of similar to when the UEFA Champions League streams on Paramount. Not all the Premier League games. They may get one or two, a few, if any, Premier League games, but they get a bunch of the UEFA Champions League games, and they also have Serie A. I don't really think that that's competing things, because it's Europe's best teams trying to fight to get into the UEFA Champions League. But still, I mean, if they do show some of the Premier League stuff, then Serie A could be a competing league in some sort of way, but there's no exclusivity on that. And I think it would be interesting for CBS to kind of tap their toes into a couple different sports. I mean, yeah, they have, college football, college basketball, NFL, UFC now, football, international soccer. They at one point have had NASCAR, and I to my knowledge, I don't think CBS has ever had wrestling on their network. I could be very wrong on that. Just going off of my quick history in my head, I can't tell you a single event that happened on CBS from a wrestling perspective. And that would be a really cool thing to have. It's in almost every, if not every single home in the world, not in the world, but in the U.S. You can get it on antenna, and sometimes it'll be on your analog channels. It'll be in every single package you get. Your local CBS affiliate is on that, just about. So, I mean, that would be a big thing to happen for AEW, to be on true cable television, to where it's literally free for just about everybody, or a free channel that's included in every single package. I don't know if it'll happen. If Paramount kind of keeps TBS, TNT, and Max as their own entities in some way and don't combine them, then that'd be interesting. If they keep TBS and TNT separate but combine Max with Paramount Plus, that will definitely affect the streaming platform of not only AEW's pay-per-views, but where they show the replay of their shows. And if that executive from Paramount says nope, there's no exclusivity between them, UFC, TKO, Endeavor, they're fine. I'm gonna hold off and wait. I want to see what that kind of actually looks like if that's the case. And going forward, it'd be interesting to see kind of where AEW would go on a TV platform, but also a streaming platform here in the States. If it's going to continue on Max, if it's going to be combined with Paramount Plus, or if AEW kind of has to go shopping. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, it totally should be. All right, we're going to end the show with what I call the rumor mill. And because I'm on social media a lot, on wrestling Twitter a lot, and there's a lot of rumors that get pushed. And I just want to talk about two of them, two big ones. On BTE becoming the elite or being the elite, I can't remember what it's called, to be completely honest. The Young Bucks said the following quote on their last episode. Every day is a new day. That's a great point. Every time you wake up, the next day is a new day. I'm never afraid about the new day. When a new day is coming, I'm excited. Last night on AEW Dynamite, I don't know if you caught this. It was pretty clever. The Young Bucks show up during the dogs, segment, and they said, "Who let the dogs out? Who? Which I believe is a reference to when the New Day did that in WWE several years ago, including our WrestleMania 2017 in Orlando, Florida, when the Hardys came back and we were live in the crowd. They did that too to open the show. They're teasing the New Day. Kofi Kingston and Austin Creed. Austin Creed comes to all these events, and people wear Kenny Omega shirts just to piss him off. And he keeps saying, "If I ever see you, Kenny, you're going down." It seems like we might be getting a New Day in AEW's tag team division. Is this just fun banter, or are they just teasing the inevitable?
What that dog doing? No? Yeah. Realized a thing on social media with Nick Jackson saying what that dog doing. So that's all winking the camera after he said that one. That was pretty funny. Yeah, I fully expect New Day to show up in AEW. Just good banter, but spoiler/teasers going on. It was kind of the same thing with the Punk thing. Everybody knew he was going to show up with the teasers. You know, the second Rampage being in Chicago. Bunch of times, a lot of people were saying best in the world weeks before he came out. It's a worst kept secret, so play along with it. You already know it's probably going to happen, so just keep going with it. So yeah, I think it's good banter. It's just a fun way of teasing things. It'd be great if their contract expired right before All In, or the 90-day compete clause ended on the right around All In, so they can just make their appearance at Wembley Stadium or debut for AEW. But I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works, if they have a 90-day to compete clause or not. I would wait until Wembley.
I think they did have a 90-day, but I thought it ended about the same time as Motor City Machine Guns, if I was correct, if I understood correctly.
July?
Yeah, so the end of July, I think. So could give you a good month to tease it after Redemption. And
God, still, man, I would wait till Wembley. Great way to debut.
That is true. I mean, they could debut the way the Hardys debuted at our WrestleMania. Add an additional tag team into the ladder match, and here comes the New Day out. I almost expect the trios title, or the trios tag match, Cope Cage, FTR, and the Young Bucks at All In. And what fun would it be to add a fourth team at the last minute and do a callback to WrestleMania. That'd be cool. All right. The final rumor. All right. So Mick Foley came back to the wrestling world on the pre-show of Double or Nothing. And MJF kicked him in the balls. Well, it was heard today that Mick Foley wants, or has maybe wants, or I don't know if he's even cleared to wrestle, but if he is cleared to wrestle, wants his final match to be in AEW. And Tony Khan basically is of the assumption that if he gets cleared, he'll let him do it. And there's a little bit of storyline that suggests MJF could be his opponent for his final match in AEW. In fact, somebody came up with this theory. Imagine if this were the case. MJF, now granted, there's a legit injury that MJF is dealing with that they don't think is serious, or they hope is not serious, but it sounds like MJF is dealing with an injury. So if he drops the title, I'm not saying that it's because of this reason, but this is the theory that at Redemption in July, Kenny Omega beats MJF for the AEW World Championship, ultimately fighting Will Ospreay at All In, which clears MJF's schedule for All In. And then Wembley Stadium full of 25,000 fans because they can't sell fucking tickets for the show. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman takes on Mick Foley at Wembley Stadium. Your thoughts on the rumor, and does it happen?
No. Or should I say it damn well better not happen. Listen. Sting and MJF did not happen. And there's a reason for that. Because Sting knew that his days of competing as a singles competitor pretty much were done. He wasn't able to do a 20, 25, 30-minute match on his own. And tag matches were kind of his thing. And that's fine. He accepted it. He knew it. And he went out the way I believe he wanted to go out, retirement-wise. And we were fine with that because at least Sting could compete. He could still do quite a bit of the stuff that he was even jumping. I mean, he was jumping off, scaffolds and balconies and top ropes all over the place, going through table. Sting was pretty much more of a high flyer, if you want to use that term loosely, taking a lot of risks in his later wrestling career than he almost ever did because he could do it. And he didn't, not that I don't think he cared, but he had Darby Allin's a tag team partner. So it's like, maybe Darby brought that out of him. I don't know. Mick Foley, to Wavy D's point, the dude can barely walk as the dude wears a fanny pack. Come on, man. Come on now.
You can't wrestle with a fanny pack? Why not?
You can't wrestle with that shit. You can't wrestle on a Crystal Gale t-shirt. What are we doing? Why is he here? To say another legend joined AEW? We're turning to TNA here slowly as far as the amount of legends that have worked in a million other promotions. But hey, they've been in our promotion now. We're legit. I don't know. I know Mick Foley does not need to wrestle. We saw what Hulk Hogan could do in 2011 on a million surgeries on his back and his knees and his hips. We do not need that for Mick Foley because what's going to happen is Mick's not going to take very many bumps. He's going to blade. He's going to fall down a few times, make a big comeback, and then probably will succumb to MJF or whomever. But it's just going to be a whole bunch of just nonsense. And it's not even good nostalgia at this point. I mean, Mick Foley golly, he's almost like the Brett Favre and Terry Funk of wrestling. He's had so many retirement matches. Between WrestleMania 20, where he was supposed to have his last match with The Rock against Evolution, he hated it. So then he had his follow-up against Randy Orton at Backlash in 04, and that hardcore match for the IC title, very good match. Nick should have retired on that, but he didn't. And then had the I guess it was another hardcore match with Edge at WrestleMania 22 in that infamous table spot where your Edge speared him through the table, it was on fire. And that was a pretty decent match. Should have retired there. Didn't. And then, of course, had his TNA run, and then won the TNA World Title in 2009. We're not going to go there because of the three, Sting's had a lot of bullshit moments in his career, but let's just call it that. Okay, RoboCop, yeah, he was there for that. Yep, Shockmaster, yeah, he was there for that too. Sure was. That finger poke of doom and some of the other stuff in WCW, he wasn't on the show, or it didn't directly affect him, and indirectly affected him because he was part of it. But anyways, the last Nitro, last match in WCW history, and then obviously Victory Road 2011, losing the world title to Mick Foley at Lockdown 2009, and then losing Triple H at WrestleMania that he should have never lost in 2015. Chalk that one up as one of the worst things in wrestling was Mick Foley winning a world title in 2009 in TNA. That was, oh, God. But anyways, again, Mick had a run in TNA. Should have just stopped after that, man. I mean, just stop. When it's enough, just stop. I don't want to see you wrestle. I don't. I'm not going to pay a pay-per-view because Mick Foley is wrestling. There's a reason why he was on the buy-in and not on the pay-per-view. Because ain't nobody going to want to watch and buy because of Mick Foley. Good personality, good mind in wrestling. We're not going to talk about the personal side of Mick Foley because that's not what this podcast is based off of. I don't agree with his takes are personally, but I don't care about that because we're talking about the wrestling side of it. And Mick is a legend in the industry. He has a great mind for it. I believe his mind is good. Just leave it at that. Be a coach for the young guys. Be on the pre-show. Be a commentator. Be like Jeff Jarrett. Do that stuff. You don't need to be in the ring. And even Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett has been in the ring, but he could go. He was still good enough. He could hang on his own. He didn't have to be in a tag team match. He was in a bunch of tag team and 6-man tags and 8 and 10-man tags, but he could still go on his own. He probably still could. Mick Foley? You might as well put him in the ring with Ric Flair and just see who even stands. Who can take a bump and then stand up? Winner wins.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I wouldn't be enthralled if Mick Foley wrestled again. Like, it's not like on my bucket list of the top 10 things that need to happen before certain people retire. Like, Mick Foley's not on that list. On doing anything, but I mean, I think there's an audience for it. I mean, it's not going to be a 5-star match. Like, let's just be honest. But I think
the
there's
same
an
audience that cheers for Brody King. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, maybe, but there's an audience for it. There's a nostalgia for it, and I don't know. There's a lot of like Mick Foley, I think, has wanted to work with MJF for quite some time, but hasn't been able to because of he was on a WWE Legends contract type of stuff. And now he has this opportunity. I don't know. Well, first off, he has to get cleared to wrestle. And that's going to be hard enough for Mick Foley to get cleared to wrestle. So I don't know if we have to really worry about it. I just thought it was funny that came up today while I was scrolling social media that Mick Foley might wrestle in the year of 2026. If you think about it, was it the last time Mick Foley's name was on a was used on a Turner Broadcasting network, maybe I'm wrong, you can tell me, was when Tony Schiavone spoiled Monday Night Raw against The Rock. We should leave it there. Like it's not
Pretty
like
sure you're
something
correct on that.
it's not like I'm anticipating or wanting this to happen. But I mean, the nostalgia factor would be okay for the first 5 seconds. I don't know. Mick Foley might take one bump and pull a Jerry the King Lawler and have a heart attack in the middle of the ring. Or maybe he'll pull a 25-minute 5-star match. You don't know. We haven't seen Mick Foley for a while. I'm just saying, if the guy wants to go, let him go. I mean, he's signing up for his death sentence. So if he wants to go, I mean, let it be on the pre-show, but like, let him go. Let him have a match. I mean, I think he could fight Big Boom AJ and on the pre-show of I don't know. Let it happen. If he wants to do it, he can do it. If he wants to die, he can die.
Was that saying from Rocky 3? If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, if he dies, he dies. I don't know. It'll be cool. Like nostalgia factor would be cool. This was something that maybe would have been cool like 12 years ago.
I would say so.
But I don't know. He's a little bit past his prime.
A little bit.
He's like that that ARCA driver. I don't know if you know the ARCA series, but he's like 75 years old and he still drives an ARCA car.
It's not Morgan Shepherd, is it?
No, I think his name's Brad Smith. He drives about 50 miles an hour.
What a generic name.
He drives about 50 miles an hour slower than the rest of the cars, races about half the race, and then parks it. That's about what Mick Foley would do in a match.
Yeah, Mick is really like this generation's Terry Funk of, I'll never retire. Please do.
Yeah. All right. To those watching, do you want to see Mick Foley wrestle? Let us know in the comments. That's about all I had today. Wasn't a whole lot of WWE news to talk about. Braun Breaker's hurt again. I guess we could talk about that for a minute.
You know what? I'll bring it up. And it probably should have been on my meltdown because there was something actually that kind of bothered me. It just took you until that to ring it loose. Bring back house shows.
Yeah.
Bring back house shows. Listen, we've catered to these people now far too long. We went from 1 or 2 house shows a week to now we just don't have any, or very, very little, or just during the summer months. Now AEW doesn't have barely has any house shows, and if it is, it's once every 2 years with house rules.
Yeah.
As much as I don't love having the same match on the pay-per-view take place on the house shows 4 to 5 to 6 to 10 times before the match happens at the pay-per-view, it does allow these people to hone their craft, to get the timing down, to get good chemistry down, to get the match juices, the creative match juices flowing. Most importantly, it gets reps for these guys and gals. It gets reps. And I'm not saying that injuries don't happen if they just do house shows. They absolutely will still happen. But I swear it feels like we have so many more injuries here lately because of the fact that we don't give these guys and gals enough opportunities in enough places besides just once a week on TV, maybe twice if we're even lucky, for them to wrestle. Get reps. Keep the body warm. Keep the body loose. Not wrestle once or twice a month and then it gets hurt. Taker said it himself that the worst time in his career as far as the wrestling performance-wise was when he went part-time to 1 or 2 times a year because his body wasn't used to it. And And yes, is it nice if companies let their guys and gals do indie shows? Yes, but that you shouldn't rely on that, because that's now if they're gonna get hurt, now they're under somebody else's company. And sure, you're not going to file liability or nothing like that. I don't think you could, but that's where the house shows come to play. If you're going to get hurt, at least let it be in your own company that you guys are contracted and assigned to, and let these guys get reps. A lot less botches could happen. People that are on TV that are learning to grow, they can grow quicker. They can learn a lot. Matches don't get as sloppy. They don't get as untimed, and the chemistry is lost because they don't fight very often. Yeah, sorry. That was my last trick. I just...
oh. Yeah. No, I feel you. Oh, let's bring this up real quick. I forgot. Great American Bash is the same day as TNA's Slammiversary and AEW's Forbidden Door. A trio of pay-per-views. Hey, if you love watching all of them, I mean, you got a 3-course meal coming your way. Your TV bill is going to be very high that day. But good Lord, why did NXT need a pay-per-view that day? They couldn't do the week before, or the week after, or the day before. You had to do it at the same fucking time as... And listen, the show's in fucking San Jose, so it's not like they're going to move it up anymore, because it's already starting at like 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific time. I mean, unless you want to have brunch at an AEW show. I mean, they're keeping the time. I don't like this. I don't like why. Like, at least with TNA, like, it's a 4 p.m. Eastern show. It's going to be done and over with before AEW starts. But now you have AEW fighting with NXT. And if I want to watch both, now I'm not going to be able to be concentrated on both at the same time. I'm going to have to watch one and wait for the other. Like, this just feeds the toxicity on social media. Like, my most popular tweet, I think this week, and look, I talk a lot of shit about politics on my Twitter. But my most popular tweet was the tweet to the CW saying that I'm watching AEW Forbidden Door instead of Great American Bash. I'm still getting people liking that comment 2 days later. Like, it's just so dumb. NXT, you're ruining, like, you're and it's
and the thing that's funny about it, don't mean to cut you off, but the thing that to me is even more hilarious is TNA and NXT have this working relationship, and it's hurting TNA more so than it is the AEW, in my opinion.
Yeah.
AEW is already going to be on pay-per-view, so I mean, people that's already whatever. But TNA, blocked out the 3 hours before Forbidden Door to be like, okay, maybe we can capitalize on that, get the fans to watch our show before they watch they're not going head to head. It's not great to still have it on the same day, but at least it could be like people can still watch our product and then be able to tune in on theirs. We're not directly competing. We can still kind of be able to generate something over here. And now that NXT is going to be an hour before AEW, it's going to be the last hour-ish of TNA's pay-per-view Slammiversary. I'll put a sour taste in my mouth if I'm Carlos Silva in TNA. It's like, what the hell? I thought we were working together, guys. Why are you trying to hurt us? And of course, the fans is going to say, well, you guys are going to get 2 hours before us, so just finish up your time close to when we're starting, and you guys have no problem. Okay, great. But literally, we had this whole thing out, blocked off so we can do our show fully and be fine.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, they're not just hurting AEW a little bit, but they're hurting TNA too. And that's interesting to me.
Right. And I know there's probably going to be people out there that are like, this is just part of the business, my friend. If you can't compete, don't compete. But it's like, you're hurting yourself. because how many people that watch NXT aren't going to watch NXT live, which I believe this is on the CW, so it's going to be on TV. There's going to be a rating associated with it that's going to come out to the public. And when that rating is lower than it could have been if you chose a different time, like, that's just, to me, a bad business decision, because, like, I might watch Great American Bash, but it's definitely not going to be live, because if I'm going to want to watch a pay-per-view, I mean, the most bang for my buck's going to be Forbidden Door. Like, Forbidden Door, I don't care if WrestleMania is on the same day as Forbidden Door. I'm watching Forbidden Door, because I know I'm getting more bang for my buck at that point. Like, I don't know. It just seems petty, but it is what it is. We've come to expect it with NXT and Shawn Michaels. I guess there's nothing really extra to add to that piece. But I'll turn it back to you.
Quick question: what's the, if you're Shawn Michaels and NXT and Triple H and the Fed, what are you looking for that show to do rating wise? If it's anything under $1 million, is it a failure? $1.5 million? What are we looking at? They don't have Obafemi. They don't have Trick Williams. No Javon Evans.
I mean, their weekly show
NXT that you had.
And their weekly shows barely pulling 540 on a Tuesday. I don't expect. I mean, because again, I don't think the CW is one of those channels that everybody gets. Like, it's on some packages.
I'd say anything above 800K, it's a good day for them.
Yeah, I think I would say if you could match or maybe slightly do better than your normal show. I'm trying to see what the last NXT number was, because Nielsen updated their number the way they do metrics, and it takes like 6 days now to get a rating. Like, we got last Wednesday's Dynamite, May 27th.
I'm usually seeing them come out on Friday, maybe Saturday or Monday.
Yeah, we got it Monday for a Wednesday. So that's almost a week before. So we haven't gotten this Tuesday's NXT, but the last Tuesday they were at 544,000. I'm assuming we'll get Tuesday's numbers Saturday. I think that's tomorrow. I think that's when they come out. We'll see. It'll probably be about the same. I mean, if they could get 600 or 700K for that show, I think that's a good number. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're going to get less than what they could have gotten if they didn't put it on the same night. But I don't know what a good number is for them. I'm sure they'll come up with some excuse as to why it's lower than it is, or why it's lower than it should have been. But I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, I got nothing else, so I'll throw it back to you for our final words of the night.
Well, I hope, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hopefully, stay with us long enough. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I share, of course. I have in the couple of weeks that we've been in here and in packing and unpacking, I have found the 2 All Elite crates that I bought back a year or two ago. That there's some cool little goodies in there that I would be more than happy to do for giveaways. Should we hit a certain threshold on the following side on X, if we hit the certain subscriber threshold on YouTube. So clip this, send it out there, and we'll share the hell out of it. Yeah, pretty cool little knickknacks that I think some of y'all may be interested in, that I have no problem and would be more than happy to do as a giveaway if we get to a certain number of thresholds, either by the end of a certain month, certain year, whatever the case may be. Maybe I'll let the host over here set that up as far as the numbers and where we, things like that. I'll do the prize part. So, if you guys are interested in that, let us know. Share it with your friends, and let's get some likes and follows and subscriptions and all that good stuff. So that way, we can do some giveaways, do some cool stuff. Other than that, we shall see if this will be the last Stay Saucy before either I take a sabbatical for a little bit or not. So if it is, I will see y'all very soon. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. If those with the most over here has a Saturday show, feel free to tune into that. If it's not my last Stay Saucy for the time being, the next week we will see you guys next Thursday. But for this weekend, enjoy the hell out of it. Hopefully you guys are having some nice weather. Enjoy it. Get outside. Have some fresh air. Don't take life too seriously. We're all in this together. Let's just be good humans. Let's just not treat each other like shit. Let's just be nice to each other. Spread positivity. Spread love. All that good stuff. If you're watching sports, got a bunch of good sports between the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, the NBA Finals are going on. Last night's game 1, I actually watched it. It was pretty damn good. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, you got the College Baseball World Series going on, too. MLB's in full action. NASCAR's in full action. The World Cup is starting next week, I believe. So, got a lot of good stuff happening. Which means that you all going to need to make your favorite food, which means y'all are going to need to do the best things you know how to do when it comes to cooking and dipping in your sauces, making your favorite sauces, all that good shit. So, with all that being said, unless he has any further words, hope y'all stay saucy, friends.
I got one more thing to say. You mentioned hockey, so I had to pull up the.
Oh no! Listen. No. Listen. The last time you did this, you had to do a public apology for an entire fan base team, and it didn't go well.
Carolina Hurricanes.
No. Don't do this.
You got home ice. You lost game 1. And it looks like you're going to lose game 2. What's happening, my boys? Where's your goaltender? Where's your goal scoring? Where's Sebastian Aho? The Golden Knights are on top of the world. Look, I don't like the Golden Knights. I think they lucked their way into the playoffs. But you're letting the team beat you at home? Are the Fairweather fans leaving the arena yet? Is this going to be a sweep?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God, you said it. Oh, no, you said the word.
Oh, it's going to be a sweep.
Listen, Carolina fans, I'm not a fan of your team. I let that be known, okay? I'm not a Golden Knight supporter either, okay? We're division rivals. Capitals fans here, natural division rivals, going back to the Southeast Division. So naturally we have a disdain for each other. But I don't hate y'all. I promise you. I didn't say any of that, what he said. And I didn't do it whenever the Hurricanes were facing the Canadiens. I thought the Canadiens would give them a little bit better of a series. Evidently, they only gave them one better game than the first 2 rounds that they did. I'm not saying nothing. Because if my boy gets here before next Thursday, I will make it a mission of mine to somehow join you for 5 minutes on this podcast. And if things go how they went last time, by this time next week, you got some splaining to do, sir, and I will make sure to be on the show to say you got to eat the crow. Golly. You're going to have one Mr. Clodfelter be very upset with you if that happens.
Listen, if necessary, next Thursday is game 5. But the way it's looking, we won't need a game 5.
Oh, we keep it. Not going.
We keep it fun around here. Y'all stay saucy. We'll see y'all next week. This is the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. I'm Junkyard James. It's Cody Marinara. Stay saucy. We'll see y'all next week.
This is wrestling without the filter.